What is up, guys? Fatal82 bringing you a slice of life from the US Rustopia server. There are two color-coordinated raiders here who have built up a raid tower and they're attempting to vault onto the roof of a stone base. Raiders typically, guys, go for the top floor and make their way into your base in a top-down manner in an effort to get to the loot room. You'll notice, guys, that the raiders are taking out the raid tower here, which is a good method, but they're doing it in a way that's attracting a lot of attention. They're using a rifle to take out that tower. In the future, guys, the best thing to do is to carry a bow with you and do that silently. You certainly don't want to attract a lot of attention your way when you're raiding, but it is always good to take out that raid tower, so that is a good tactic that they're using. Just the particular way they're doing it is not the best. It looks like they're raiding a place called the Poon Palace, and I'm assuming they're hoping that they'll find a lot of treasure and reward inside of the Poon Palace. You'll notice they're using pickaxes on the door frame and not the door. They are doing this in a method in which they are hammering on that. The color of the door is, the door frame rather, is changing, indicating that it's taking damage, and you can hear their pickaxes breaking as well. When they raid, guys, without C4, they have to carry a substantial amount of tools with them. And they've broken through the first layer. They're now making their way down into the middle of the base. Doesn't look like there's a lot of loot in this room, but there are sleeping bags, and the raiders are making sure that they take out those sleeping bags so the homeowners don't spawn in while they're inside the base. They're now working on the second door, attempting to get into the middle of the base where it looks like there's some furnaces and potentially some loot. And guys, the homeowner came home while the raiders were upstairs. He must have been out hunting or scavenging. He's armed with a revolver and he's in burlap armor. He looks like he may be outgunned. I don't believe he knows that the raiders are one floor above him, that one door separates him from the raiders. He appears to be oblivious to that fact. The raiders stopped swinging the pickaxes the moment they heard footsteps outside and the moment they heard that door open, but they are lying in wait over here, hoping that the homeowner will open that door and make their life a little bit easier. And the homeowner, again, guys, is looking through his chests here, and he has no idea that one floor above him are some people who are in his base who are not going to be too kind to him, most likely. And it looks like the homeowner is now exiting the base. He's going back out to scavenging, again, unaware that inside of his base, inside of the Poon Palace, are two raiders who are slowly chipping their way down to his loot room. You'll notice, guys, the raiders are waiting to swing their pickaxes. They're waiting to make sure that the footsteps are out of distance, that they're out of earshot, and they're now going back to work, hammering on that door frame. And the raiders, guys, have now broken into the middle of the base where there are furnaces and chests. They're looting the chests and the furnaces, and they've hit what appears to be probably the main loot room. And the homeowner has just come home. Again, he's unaware there are raiders in his base, but he's now aware. He was just massacred inside of his own house, brutally murdered in cold blood by these color-coordinated raiders with their yellow pants and their red shirts. They've murdered this homeowner in cold blood in his own home, inside the Poon Palace. Now they're going back to methodically looking through his chests, throwing out what they don't want, taking the items that they do want. And it appears as though one of the raiders actually found C4 inside of the base, and they are actually going to use that C4 to go a bit farther into the base. They've placed it on the door frame here. It looks like there's one charge, which should be enough to damage the door. And it looks like it took the door out. They're now making their way down to the first floor. The homeowner is making a last-ditch effort. He's running back naked with a rock to try to protect the Poon Palace, to try to salvage some of his goods. He's making a valiant attempt here, swinging his rock, but the raiders are he's no match for the raiders. They've outgunned him. They've again killed him in cold blood in his own base, and now they are taking out his sleeping bags. Now the Raiders guys are back to looting. They're despawning the items that they can't carry with them. Again, that's a jerk move, but that's what Raiders do. They don't want to leave this guy with anything. And another person, guys, has made entry into the base. I'm not sure if this is one of the homeowners or just a friend of the homeowner, but he appears to be at a loss as to what to do. It doesn't look as though he's armed, and he realizes that he's outmatched. Now the mode of egress, guys, that the Raiders are using is they're jumping off of the building and they're running away with the score that they've scored from this particular raid. Guys, if you want to help avenge the Poon Palace, hop on Rustopia US and give these guys a run for their money.